Today we are discuss about 357 prompts for declassified espionage books. When the CIA and the KGB finally declassified their darkest secrets, they revealed stories of betrayal and survival so shocking they defied belief. And then, academic historians completely ruined them. For decades, the real history of global espionage was locked away in dusty government vaults, or was a broken bar written by academics who turned life or death covert missions into dry, polite, and sleep-inducing timelines. A journalist and historian named Ben noticed this massive disconnect. He realized that readers were absolutely obsessed with the espionage genre, but they were starving for the raw truth. They didn't want boring geopolitical summaries. They wanted the dark reality of the intelligence world, but they demanded it be delivered with the pulse-pounding tension of a blockbuster movie. Instead of writing another traditional, dusty history textbook, Ben took a completely radical approach. He bypassed the polite academic jargon and went straight for the jugular. He plunged the reader into the tactile reality of the field agent. He wrote about the cold sweat of a border crossing, the paralyzing paranoia of being followed, the mechanics of dead drops, and the devastating internal mole hunts. He relied strictly on declassified files and verified facts. There were no fake dialogues or invented heroes. But his book didn't read like a history lesson, it read like a gripping, high-stakes psychological thriller. The result was explosive. Published in 2018, his book shattered the traditional non-fiction market. It garnered thousands of rave reviews, disrupted how modern history is consumed, and proved that readers are absolutely obsessed with the raw, declassified truth. Today, that single non-fiction book generates an estimated 42 sales every single day on Amazon. Here is the incredible news. You don't need a PhD in history, a high-level security clearance, or Ben's decades of journalistic experience to tap into this voracious, high-demand market. You can now create immersive, documented, and gritty true espionage books that leverage this exact same cinematic non-fiction formula using my collection of 357 advanced super prompts. There are dozens of historical operations, deep cover assassinations, and modern cyber warfare niches waiting for this exact innovative approach. Introducing 357 prompts for declassified espionage books. This is not a generic list of write a story about a spy prompts. This is advanced, weaponized prompt engineering. 357 prompts for declassified espionage books is an automated publishing engine designed to replicate the structure of a blockbuster true espionage book from the inside out. With a single copy and paste, these super prompts force the AI to act as an elite intelligence analyst, a master storyteller, and an art director all at once. Each prompt is strictly engineered to generate highly impactful, 100% factual books that readers simply cannot put down. Each super prompt delivers a complete publishing asset instantly, a declassified dynamic framework. Instead of generic chapters, the AI invents a unique, proprietary methodology tailored specifically to your chosen historical event. It dynamically calculates the complexity of the operation and builds a 3 to 6-step framework covering the historical build-up, the tactical execution, and the verifiable geopolitical fallout. Magnetic book metadata. The system generates high-impact titles, punchy subtitles, and a compelling, tension-filled back cover blurb designed to turn browsers into buyers. Plus, you get 7 highly targeted SEO keywords to help your book dominate the search algorithms on publishing platforms. A bestseller book cover prompt. You don't need to hire an expensive graphic designer. The prompt acts as your visual director, writing a highly technical instruction for an AI image generator. It guarantees an authentic, gritty, archival mood. Dynamic narrative angles. Real espionage isn't one-dimensional. The prompt forces the AI to explore the event through multiple shifting perspectives, the tactile reality of the field agent, the bureaucratic pressure of headquarters, the retrospective view of the analyst, the human cost to collateral victims, and the mirror perspective of the adversary. 10 high-depth chapter prompts, 1,500 plus words each, thanks to a hard-coded anti-laziness protocol. The system generates 10 distinct, standalone writing assignments. It commands the AI to use a triple-layer expansion technique for every chapter, immersing the reader, analyzing the strategy, and documenting the true human cost. It strictly forbids lazy bullet points and forces a continuous narrative flow based entirely on declassified facts. You are not just generating text. You are generating a highly classified, immersive experience. When you use these prompts, you are deploying the exact narrative formula that currently drives an estimated 42 sales every single day for top espionage authors. You get the branding of a premium publishing house, the suspense of a master thriller writer, and the rigorous accuracy of a top-tier historiana, all in a matter of seconds. The technology behind the cinematic intelligence engine, the secret behind our 357 super prompts, is the proprietary architecture hard-coded into every single query. We haven't just written basic prompts, we have engineered a strict set of invisible rules that forces the AI to bypass the boring parts of history entirely. Instead of generating a polite lecture, the AI is locked into delivering sensory-rich, deep-dive historical books. It dismantles complex geopolitical events and turns them into raw, gripping narratives. Here is exactly what this advanced prompt engineering forces the AI to do behind the scenes: the zero fiction mandate, to prevent the AI from hallucinating or inventing fake history. Every chapter strictly relies on declassified files and verified public records. The AI is explicitly forbidden from inventing dialogue, characters, or operations. Every claim is anchored to real dates, real locations, and named individuals. The triple-layer expansion technique. Chapters aren't just surface-level text. The AI is forced to weave 3 layers into every page: 1. Immersive historical reconstruction, 2. Strategic, institutional analysis, and 3. The verifiable human and historical cost. Mandatory pacing variation punch paragraphs. To build unbearable tension and prevent reader fatigue, the AI is programmed to dramatically vary paragraph lengths. Whenever it reveals a devastating historical fact or a major betrayal, it is forced to follow up with a short, heavy-hitting punch paragraph, under 3 sentences, to let the revelation sink in. The anti-laziness protocol. Our prompts include aggressive negative constraints that absolutely forbid the AI from using lazy bullet points or dry internal subheaders. It forces a continuous, cinematic narrative flow from the first word to the last. Dominate 51 high-demand espionage true crime categories. Standard history books on these topics already have massive, built-in audiences. But right now, those readers are stuck reading sanitized, boring timelines. They are secretly craving the gritty, operational details. By applying our dynamic framework to these classic and the modern intelligence operations, your books will instantly stand out from the sea of dry academic texts. You don't need a security clearance. You don't need to spend months buried in the CIA reading room. The super prompts have the historical context, the operational mechanics, and the narrative tension already hard-coded into them. Here are the 51 fascinating, high-stakes categories ready for your touch. 9/11 attacks, the wall between the CIA and FBI. CIA mole hunts, the Aldrich Ames case. FBI versus Robert Hanssen, the greatest U.S. counterintelligence breach. The Manhattan Project and Soviet atomic espionage, the Rosenbergs. Intelligence in the hunt for Osama bin Laden. Abbottabad, 2011. WEI Cryptanalysis, Bletchley Park and the Enigma Code. Edward Snowden's revelations on global NSA espionage. Operation Wrath of God, Mossad retaliation after Munich 1972. Project MK-Ultra, CIA mind control and LSD experiments. The Bay of Pigs invasion and CIA intelligence failure. Ideological treason, the Cambridge Five. Philby, Burgess, McLean. High-risk exfiltrations, Operation Argo, Iran 1979. The hunt and capture of Adolf Eichmann by Mossad, Argentina 1960. The Cuban Missile Crisis, Human Intelligence, Oleg Penkovsky. Chelsea Manning, WikiLeaks, and the SIPNet collapse. The Iran-Contra affair, illegal CIA financing and shadow networks. The Watergate scandal and the ex-CIA plumbers. Weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. The analytical failure. 2003. State-sponsored cyber espionage. The Stuxnet virus against Iran. The analytical intelligence failure of Pearl Harbor. Sleeper agent networks. The KGB illegals in the West. The escape of Oleg Gordevsky. Operation Pimlico, 1985. The Stasi in East Germany. Citizen surveillance and Marcus Wolf's network. The Church Committee and the exposure of intelligence abuses. 1975. Operation Paperclip. The extraction of Nazi scientists by the U.S. Operation Condor and transnational assassination squads. U.S. naval intelligence and the Walker family spy ring. Documented historical assassination attempts against Fidel Castro. The Pentagon Papers leak by Daniel Ellsberg. U-2 reconnaissance flights and the downing of Francis Gary Powers. 1960. Richard Sorge's spy ring in Japan. WEI Echelon and the Five Eyes Global Surveillance Network. Operation Ajax, the CIA coup in Iran, 1953. The Venona Project, decrypting Soviet spies in the U.S. The hunt for Che Guevara by the CIA and Bolivian forces. Operation PUB Success, CIA destabilization of Guatemala, 1954. DNC hack. Russian cyber operations in the 2016 U.S. election. The Valerie Plame scandal, political exposure of a CIA covert officer. WEI double agents, the double-cross system, MI5. The CIA's Phoenix program in Vietnam, targeted assassinations. The Bulgarian umbrella assassination, Georgy Markov in London. The defection of Viktor Belenko with the MiG-25, Japan. 1976. The KGB and the penetration of NATO in the 1970s and 80s. The role of intelligence in the elimination of Pablo Escobar. Soviet infiltration of Western nuclear programs. Exposure of the drone assassination program, the drone papers. Global manhunts against terrorist networks, post 9/11. The Abu Ghraib scandal and the role of military intelligence. Chinese industrial espionage in Silicon Valley. The treason of Edward Lee Howard, the first CIA officer to defect. Operation Farewell, sabotaging Soviet pipelines with modified software. Thank you.